Hey, what's up everyone? Today I'm going to talk about saving offcuts and cuttings from Dwarf Jade. Recently I've been working on these little dwarf jades that I bought from a grower in Southern California, and whenever I'm working on something like this, in this case putting it into bonsai pots and shaping it a little bit, I'm always looking for pieces that are a little bit bigger that I might be cutting off that are sort of interesting. So I've got a few here. This one's off of a regular green dwarf jade. It's got some nice barking down here at the base already. This one's off the variegated variety and just has a little bit of age to it. And the same thing is true for some other ones. I took this little branch that looked like it was sort of like a cascade and decided that I might put it in this thimble size bonsai pot. I'm not sure whether I can manage that or not, but anytime you have these cuttings, you might know already that they're really easy to root. But the key thing that I like to do when I'm working with them is to kind of do like an editing process where you look at the lines that are in it, and instead of just rooting the whole thing and coming back to it later, I like to kind of set it on its way. So here we have one that has like a really big strong fork, and I was kind of like not happy with this on the tree that it was on, partly because there's sort of reverse taper here from these two strong shoots. So I'm going to cut off one of the shoots and keep the other one for purposes of making a cutting, which might mean that I actually end up making two trees out of this offcut because it's had some interesting work put into it in the past. And then I still kind of have that reverse taper a little bit right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a branch cutter here. And I'll use a big pair of scissors. And I'm going to cut straight across at the largest point so that I can use that as the base of the tree, because you try to avoid reverse taper wherever you can. So now I have a tiny little tree that's already got some movement and structure and a little bit of flare at the base. I'm going to go ahead and sit that into a container and just as if it was already rooted, because these guys root pretty much 100% if you do this. So just kind of bury that fresh cut. And I've done it where I leave the cuts to dry for a couple of days or not, and I haven't seen any difference. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot this up. And then I'll water it, set this aside in a warm spot, and in a couple of months it'll have plenty of roots, and you'll know that it's rooted when it starts sending out new shoots. If it's going to fail, usually most of the leaves will just fall off and you'll end up with a dead stick, but I get almost every single one of them to take. So if you're working with Dwarf Jade, save your cool offcuts and make some more plants. Thanks guys, see you next time.